Wow, 40 years of service to the community. Way to go, Cheshire Center. Think of all those lives of those children and their families. It's quite an amazing thing. Congratulations to all the staff, the therapists, and all those parents out there helping us do what you guys do best. I love you all and I miss you. Take care. Congratulations.
Okay. Hey, Margie, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited that we are celebrating our 40th year in business at the Cheshire Center. And it is thanks all to you and your idea 40 years ago. I wanted to ask you a couple questions just for nostalgia's sake.
Sure.
And the first thing I wanted to ask is if you could give us a little bit of history of how you founded the business.
Yes, absolutely. I would be happy to. And yes, 40 years is very hard to believe. And going strong, I might add. The business started in 1980. I had just finished grad school. And at the time, it was named Margie G. Cheshire and Associates. And I was working full-time at the Greensboro Cerebral Palsy School, which I loved. And I was able to procure a nursing home contract. So I saw patients after hours, evenings, weekends at the nursing home. And I also saw children at home in my home office. My oldest son had just been born, and I have memories of the moms of the patients babysitting my child so that I could provide
Wow.
therapy services for their children.
Awesome.
They would put him in a little stroller and take him around the neighborhood so that I could do therapy with their child. So that's a great memory. In 1982, I resigned my full-time job and opened a full-time office across from Cone Hospital. And this was located in the back of a ear, nose, throat physician practices building. It was a great place to be. We quickly grew in that location, and pretty soon I added 3 employees. That was so exciting. And we saw clients in nursing homes, home health care, daycares, sheltered workshops, group homes, just many locations. So we had a great little practice going on. But in the early 90s, all of a sudden, there was this huge demand for little children to be seen in preschools and daycares, and especially Head Start centers.
Yeah.
Our very first Head Start contract was in the early 90s, as I recall. And the practice really took off after that. We moved several times to accommodate the growing staff, and we expanded into surrounding counties. As I recall, we had 3 employees on Northwood Street, and then we moved to Cornwallis and then to Pinedale. And by that time, we were up to about 35 employees. And then from there, we moved to Wendover, and we had 50 plus employees there, to our current location on Church Street in 2005, where we have approximately 76 employees. And I wanted to add a note that I founded Cheshire on the principle of providing full-time support to the therapist in the field so that they could effectively and efficiently do their job. I had done it for years. I had been alone out in the field myself, and I knew how incredibly difficult it was to do everything, to do the intake, to do the billing, to do all the paperwork, and to be alone in doing that. So that was why I wanted to start Cheshire.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I didn't know all of that history. So, oh my gosh, everybody's going to be so excited to hear that. Speaking on memories, do you have 1 or 2 favorite memories across the 40 years that stick out other than what you've already shared?
I do. And speaking of the Pinedale office, I remember we were all so excited to move there. There were so many of us. We had been crawling all over each other at Cornwallis. And so we were thinking, here we are moving into this huge, beautiful new office space. We would be able to see so many more children. And about a week after we had moved in, all of a sudden, we all just kind of looked at each other and we said, oh my goodness, we have already outgrown this space. And it made for a good laugh. And in that same location, we had staff meetings on the floor because there was no conference room, there was no big table, there was nothing fancy there. And I remember everyone had young children, and the children were running around, and we were trying to feed them their dinner and have a staff meeting all at the same time. So that was a really fun memory. I think what sticks in my mind too are the memories of the hardships we've faced and how we've always overcome them, how our staff has always pulled together, whether it be a new computer system or rate cuts, or most recently, learning how to do teletherapy in 2 weeks. I'm just so incredibly proud of my staff and therapists.
Yeah, thank you.
And on the funny side, I'll add a few funny notes.
Yeah.
But these may have already been mentioned, but I do recall several times someone mentioning that a cat had been dropped off for boarding at the front desk because of our big cat sign out front. So that was always funny. And then there was the day a therapist called in from the field and asking for help. She was surrounded by a number of peacocks. So we had to talk her through that, and everything was fine. But we have chuckled about that for years since. That was
Oh my gosh, those are great. Thank you so much. I hadn't heard those stories either. That's great.
There are lots more.
And we keep making new memories. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for your time. And before we say goodbye to you, do you have any just final words to wrap up? Maybe some words of wisdom for our current staff, or perhaps future staff that watch this a few years from now?
I certainly do. Cheshire's philosophy has always been to embrace growth and change. We've never been afraid of it. We always managed as a team, and we've always kept all of our doors open. And with the expertise of our CEO, Natalie Stokes, who has been with me since 1993, this philosophy remains 40 years later. With this, I know that Cheshire will continue to grow, change, and we will always take care of each other, and we will always provide the best possible services for our patients and families.
Thank you so much, Margie. Have a great day, and thank you for founding this company 4 years ago and all that you have done to build it up. We really appreciate you and Jay and everything that you guys do behind the scenes.
Thank you, Joya, and we appreciate all of you so much. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.